Because grief and trauma can show up differently in kids and teens than adults, it can be easy to overlook or even dismiss the signs. That's why it's important to understand some of the ways they can manifest. While specific responses will be unique to each person, there are some common signs you can watch for. Trauma and grief affect the body, which means they can disrupt basic functions like appetite, energy, and sleep. And these changes can swing in either direction. You might notice weight gain or weight loss, fatigue or hyperactivity, sleeping too much, or struggling to sleep at all. Emotional pain can also cause physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches. Grief and trauma can also impact our brains, which can have noticeable effects on our cognitive functioning. A child or teen who has experienced trauma or loss may struggle with concentration, memory, or information processing, or they may have become fixated on certain thoughts or topics. These challenges can affect their ability to learn, often showing up in their academic performance and classroom behavior. They may also struggle with decision-making and may appear distracted, frustrated, or easily irritated. We often think of grief as being interchangeable with sadness, but it's not a single emotion. While sadness can be a part of it, grief often involves a variety of different feelings, which can include numbness, relief, gratitude, guilt, anger, fear, or joy, and these emotions can shift rapidly. Younger children may engage in what's known as magical thinking. For example, they may believe that they somehow caused or are to blame for the event, or that their actions can cause or prevent bad things from happening in the future. Behavior can shift too, again, in both directions. A child might become more emotionally reactive, or they might seem detached or withdrawn. You may see irritability, aggression, or a loss of interest in activities they once enjoyed. Some kids may all of a sudden be quiet in the classroom, or maybe you see an increase in challenging behaviors. On the other hand, some may respond by pushing themselves harder to achieve even more or strive for perfectionism. How these responses show up depends on age and developmental state. In younger children, you might see nightmares, tantrums, bedwetting, or regression in other skills they may have mastered. Adolescents often fluctuate on a day-to-day basis, so it can make it challenging to decipher what is normal development and behavior and what is not. Things like mood swings, risky behaviors, withdrawal, substance use, or expressions of hopelessness are important signs to watch for. You may also notice changes in communication and relationships. Some kids become clingy or anxious about leaving caregivers. Others withdraw from friends or family and isolate themselves or become more easily agitated at others. It's also worth noting that sometimes a child who has experienced a traumatic event may appear to be perfectly fine on the outside. Acting as if nothing happened can be a protective response from their brain or body, but it doesn't mean that they're not hurting. Experiencing trauma can also prompt suicidal thoughts, so it's crucial to take any comments a young person makes seriously. This includes offhand remarks or things they express to their friends. Asking direct and gentle follow-up questions is vital to ensuring their safety. This might include things like, when you say you feel like a burden to other people, what does that mean? Or do you have thoughts of ending your life? Then follow up and connect to an appropriate professional to further assess. I know this is a lot of information to take in, and you might be thinking, great, now I'm even more confused. I wish there was a simple cheat sheet for supporting young people through trauma or loss, but it's going to be unique to every person and every situation. One of the most important things you can do is simply to pay attention. You know the child better than anyone. Take note when a child or teen acts out of character in these different areas, especially if those changes interfere with their daily life and functioning for more than a couple of weeks. And finally, remember that the impact of trauma or grief doesn't follow a straight line, as much as we might want it to. It usually lingers longer than we expect or want and can resurface over time. As children grow and move through developmental stages and achieve milestone events, they may continue to process or revisit their loss or traumatic experience in different ways.